Kelly Edwards and welcome back to December Daily for 2021. I am working on story number 3, third story in my album, and by now, if you've been watching for the last couple of days, it might be kind of obvious to you that I'm not necessarily doing this in a look for the story during the day and tell the story of something that happened on that particular day. Some days I'm telling stories that happened from a couple days ago. Some days I'm telling stories about what I hope will happen, which is what I did yesterday. It is a really lovely reminder that it doesn't have to just be based on what you did on a particular day. We are telling stories of this season. So with that in mind, moving into the third story that I had set up in my foundation pages here, this is the back of story number 2 with the tag there. And I have a second tag that I set up previously. Again, this was from the tag set. And I used the December Daily Phrases stamp set to stamp ing words on these little spots here. So I've got listening, loving, slowing down, making, eating, gathering, watching, remembering, loathing, which I always think that's a fun one to include, savoring, and then I have my red 3 over here with the Simple Joys little title on there. And my plan is to just do like a currently title or right now. I'm thinking I might be able to use these if these will fit all the way across. These are some gold puffy letters. I could also use these guys right here. It could just say now, you know, right now. That's something I'm thinking about. And then over here, what I really have been looking forward to in this album in particular is being able to do some big full page photos. And so this is outside the page protector. I am printing these 11 inches wide by 8 1/4 tall. You can also print them 8 by 10 and slip them inside of a page protector. So if you're wanting that additional layer of protection, you just are somebody that wants to have things in the page protector, which is perfect. You can use a page protector for that as well, but what I really was looking forward to was having these pages that are outside of the page protector. So essentially, this is going to go right in here. So it's talking about these ing words flowing into this full page photo. And in fact, let's just go ahead and do the holes right now. I'm just going to use my 6-hole punch here. And then knowing that I am going to be using this full page photo today, let's see if I can get that in the right spot, means that there's a high likelihood that I will use a full page photo tomorrow. Now that said, it is a little bit different now because I do have lots of patterned papers that I could use as on the other side. So I'm not sure yet, but I'm pretty sure, well, I said I'm not sure yet, but I'll actually already kind of am planning ahead for tomorrow. And what I'm planning ahead for tomorrow is another full page photo that will go on the back, where I can tell a little bit of a story about getting ready for the holiday season. Some of the things that were done before December around here, like the lights getting put up and those sorts of things. So this is probably going to be the next day. But as for right now, we're just going to focus on this story. But that's a good example of where you can see how I am looking ahead a little bit, or just being, I would say, conscious of where I'm at in the album and what kinds of stories I might want to tell tomorrow or coming up. So here's a look at what the spread is going to look like in my album itself. I will be adding some sort of embellishment on the back here to cover this part up. I don't think I'm probably going to put anything on top of this photo. If I did, it might be something right along here. Maybe a little bit of a title. I kind of just don't think that it needs it. And I also like that, you know, especially with having all of these the 2x2s where I did a couple days of that, it's a lot of little pieces. So it's kind of nice to balance that out with just one big photo from our living room and what it looks like right now. And as you can see, this one isn't even showing the tree yet. The tree's actually over here, but we haven't decorated the tree yet. I'm hoping that will happen in the next couple days here once the kids are back, which they're coming back today. So that is also fun. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull this out, I'm gonna dive in, I'm gonna figure out, I'm gonna do my journaling, I'm gonna add a title on here. Again, just using ing words as my story today, kind of focusing on what are some of these things that I'm making, thinking, feeling, just general reflections, as well as adding a title along the top here. So that's what I'm working on today. All right, so this one comes together fairly quickly, mainly because I already had a story in mind for today, right? A story that I knew that I wanted to tell about this season. So first start for me here was just determining what was I going to put on the back of the felt piece there. I had this wood veneer piece that says "Bring on the Joy" that I had looked at using previously. I also had a couple stickers that were adhered back to back, some circle stickers, and then I also have these poinsettia stickers that I knew that I wanted to include there. So kind of thinking a little bit about what did I want to have on the back, and then also kind of going back and forth between did I want to add embellishments on the top of the tag or did I want to put a specific title. And I ended up using a couple more of the felt stars that are in the main kit, partly because I like how they pair up with the large felt number 3 with the gold stitching, and I could just do 3 little stars on there. So that's what I ended up doing, and those are all adhered on there using the rolling adhesive. I moved them up a little bit, or I will move them up a little bit, and then went ahead and am going to adhere the poinsettia sticker on there, again pulling off the foam adhesive on the back. I also had Scotch tape on the back of here from when I used some embroidery thread, so I needed to trim that down a little bit before I added on the poinsettia sticker, again pulling off the foam adhesive and then just using rolling adhesive on the back of that before sticking it on. So I love that these stickers have dimension. In my project specifically, I just don't need the one other layer of dimension, I think, knowing that by the end of 25 days, this album is going to get pretty thick. So just that's kind of what I'm thinking about with that. Then the next phase in this particular story is simply getting the words down, right? It's responding to those prompts. And if you don't have the stamps, you can absolutely like print this out on your printer with some of the ing words and then go ahead and add in your own writing. I love this kind of invitation, like this kind of storytelling is so great, especially when it's mixed in with maybe some longer stories or some other stories that are more, have a beginning and a middle and an end. Whereas in this particular case, I am simply putting like one sentence or a couple of thoughts related to each of these ing-based words that act as prompts for this story. So this is a great idea. You can bring this kind of idea in at any time during the month, at any time in your album, using some ing words to document how you are thinking or feeling or what you're into. I just happen to have mine happening here at the beginning of the month, but like I said, it's a great reminder as we go along, and as maybe you're looking for a particular story to tell. Great for days when maybe you are out of the house a lot, or you have work and you want to just be able to focus on, here's 8 or 9 or 10. I think, how many do I have? 8 little pieces of my story, right? 8 little pieces of my personal story of things that are happening right now. Also, I am using just a Vision Elite pen. It's not a specifically archival pen. It's just my most favorite general writing pen. It's a Vision Elite. I'll link it for you guys below too, Uniball Vision Elite. But any of the archival pens would obviously work here as well. It just happened to be the one that I personally grabbed and put on there. Love the variety too that this kind of journaling can invite some other things that maybe you don't think of at first, and I always feel like that is kind of a fun way to approach storytelling also. So as always, if you guys have questions, let me know in the comments below, and I hope you are having a fantastic start to the month.